And we are on. It is the 18th of March, Wednesday. Got myself and brother Mathew. The cast today is entitled The Book of Life, the chapter of Mathew. He's been away for a bit. As you know, I've explained to the scribes what go on, Matt, and they sent their love and wishes at them times. So we're here today to have a chat about what go on in Babylon, or in and around us. And as you know, Matt's got some acute opinions on truth and process and the fabric of society, the fundamental principles of man. When I say man, I'm talking blood. You know, natural man. And Mathew is here to say what. And over to you, Matt. You want to say hello and we'll crack on.
No, I was going to say I haven't got internet, so I don't know about them, but I'll say thank you for anyone that expressed their thoughts and whatnot. So, yeah, it's just life. You don't forget it's a ride and you're going to get off one day. You shed one physical body and you continue in in another form. I don't believe that nobody's gone, you know what I mean?
Say that again. You broke up.
They're all everywhere, and you're just shedding your physical body.
Yeah, the sleeve, like a sleeve, effectively shedding your body. Yeah, energy. Yeah.
Journey continues, different form, less restricted form, probably the energy. But no, I don't know. There's lots of funny things to say. There's lots of funny things. I'll start what's most fresh. Radio 1's advice to people is Netflix have done an app where you can have like a group chat, but it's like a group chat, but you're all sat in different houses watching the same film, like, thinking sex is, oh, that was right scary. Because that's what you want to be doing when the apocalypse, when shit's going down. When the shit goes down, you better be ready. Well, nobody was fucking ready because they were all suckling on Nanny's day. Nanny was suckling on the teeth. Nobody's got any veg growing in the back garden. They've all got fucking gardens, but nothing in it.
Something wrong with the line. Wait, there's something wrong with the line. You keep going like a machine gun. Carry on. I'm just letting you know.
But yeah,
something
no thing right. So yeah, they were telling people that. They were saying, I suggest you Google and find out how to kill viruses, best way to avoid, you know what I mean? Educate yourself on things,
I think we might need to hang up and try this call again. Wait there, I'll call you back. 1 second. Sorry about that, everyone. There seems to be some interference. Here we go in like a machine gun. Let's go again. What?
Can you hear me? I've got full bar, me.
Alright, yeah, it was just like a sniper, like a DJ effect I've used before when you cut the music in and out really fast, like using a crossfader 20 times in a second, but doing it digitally. You were doing that. So you was on about, in times of attention needed, Netflix and the Radio 1 are saying that you can get together and watch simultaneous, synchronous. Oh, it's doing it again. Yeah, go on.
They just want you to consume and they're telling you to do it. I mean, it's just, it's all very ridiculous, basically, this whole fucking scenario.
It's doing it again, Matt. Can you put it on hands-free or something? Try a different way.
I am on hands-free.
Can you try it normal? Can you try it a different way? There's something...
This is normal. It's just the phone on by itself is not plugged into the fan now.
No, I mean, can you take it off the speaker and try it a different way? My mic's gone funny again. There's something happening. We can't hear you properly.
That's what I mean. It'll be microphone if anything, but I don't know what because I'm right in front of it.
Yeah, there's something happened. We can't hear you. It's every time you speak, it's doing an effect. Yeah.
I don't understand what they were fine before.
Yeah, I know it was. I was speaking to you on it. I get that. It's just not fine now. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I'll talk and see what comes through.
It's a weird. It's like it's not. You can't go on. Yeah. Well, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to just carry on. Yeah, we'll carry on and see.
So I can hear you perfectly clear and perfectly fine.
It might be my end. It could be my phone. Then it could be there's something wrong with me.
Apart from just then, whatever you did then, you might have moved up from Mike.
Let me just bash my phone. I've just tried bashing my end then. So and taking you on and off mic. Try that. Sorry, bro. Sorry about this, scribes. Technicalities.
It's alright. Just shit fucking services. Shit rubbish services. So anyway, yeah. So they want people to stay at home, yeah. They want people to stay at home, not go out, but you can only buy 2 bottles of water at a time. So everybody's got to earn money to pay for stuff because we live in a pay-as-you-go, fuck you, top you saying if you can't pay, then die system. So governments are going to be telling people what they can, can't do, passing laws, passing this, passing that, like somebody with bad case of wind, they're going to be passing acts and statutes and decrees left, right and centre upon us, the people. Now, what they really need to be doing is passing acts and statutes and decrees upon corporations, you know, as in utility companies. They should be commandeering all supermarkets, all food outlets, you know, all of it. They should be commandeered. All supermarkets have got a Tesco card or a Sainsbury's card or a whatever, Nectar card or whatever, you know, so you could be able to register, yeah, give your name and details, your family's name and details, and they'll be able to distribute you 7 days rations, you know. And you can swap some stuff if you don't have sugar, or you know what I mean, you don't want sugar, you can swap it for more salt if you don't want, you know. But either way, everyone's getting an equal fucking share, and then they declare, you know what I mean, they basically commandeer shit, because governments can do out, they're about to do anything they want, yeah. So they could put a pause on everything. No more payments for rent, mortgage, electricity. You know, you better make sure, override them token meters and make sure electric stays on for pensioners and people in their houses, because we don't want them fucking going out for fucking £5 electric, £10 electric, touching shit, touching money. And this is also another disadvantage of having a money system. When you have a money system, any form of money system where you have haves and have not, and you have to exchange stuff, they're going to try and use this for a cashless society, which is bullshit. That won't work either, because you've still got people without money or without numbers on an account. So because they haven't got numbers on an account, they still have to go out to work, you see.
Okay, let's just take a breath then. Let me just.
In short, they could put pause on that. You know what I mean? But that falls very much short of anything. But as a measure to stop this, what if, you know what I mean? If all this has been said on news and everything and all this, and how they wanted to stop it. If they wanted to do that, they could do that. Just remember that when they're rolling army out, when they're doing all this, and they're telling you can't do that, just remember that. That's what they could do.
Yes, there are access points in the form of commercial outlets at present, and there are not orders being given, but the supermarkets themselves, the food access points, as we commonly know them, are getting together, and they are somehow, you know, wait, they are just somehow getting together and like rationing it out as we're seeing, because to some extent the ones that have got access to money and storage space have gone out and panic buyed with the utilities, toilet papers and so forth, and took more than they needed. So then that's left less for others. The supermarkets are going to take time to fill up. In the meantime, time, the less abled and the weaker ones have got up and got, out, and there's nothing there. So then we're saying, who's going to look after the vulnerable members, and how are they going to get looked after? And if we can't go and see them, so there is. Wait. So there is an incentive from the Home Office and the secretaries and the supermarkets to get together. And I will say that I've heard some markets have said they'll open for 2 hours and they'll just let in OAPs and less abled, and they put them on lists, and they are formulating stuff. The economy is formulating it, and then it looks like the Treasury and the Home Office and others have been slow on the uptake, and they are formulating emergency measures. But you're right. Let me just finish. You are right in what you're saying, that if man hasn't got any credits or access or privileged, to be able to go and buy stuff, then we could just stop the currency and the money for the minute and give people full on access to wait, let me finish. So we could give them access to the food distribution outlets that were formerly known as supermarkets, and then ration stuff out that way. And the governments do have the power to legislate in emergency equivalent to wartime measures. So therefore we could not go the way that we're going, and we have options available. But I see what you're saying.
They can do what they want. That's what, do you know what I mean? They can do what they want, but
that was a valid point. I like that, Matt.
Them OMCs are still going to have to go in and pay for stuff. People are still going to have to go out. It could be delivered to the door. There could be people that volunteer to do extended to your old job centre people getting in these Tesco vans, delivery vans, and delivering food to the nation. There's no problem with that. But what I'm saying is, you're on about these emergency measures, right? I've been talking to you about this stuff. Months ago I was saying something's going to happen. These supermarkets are going to get emptied, and then you'll see shit hit the fan like you've never seen shit hit the fan before. I've been saying for months to you. I didn't know how it
We all have. There's been a few hundred of us all quietly chatting and prophesying and foreseeing and envisaging.
Well, no, I'm saying I used to joke with you on how long it'll take people to start eating each other when this happens.
Apocalyptic times, pandemic times, and injections of millions into economies are not needed.
So what I'm saying to you is, these people, this hasn't been sprung upon them. They are the powers that be. They're always running probabilities, such and such, fucking search engines, yeah? So they know the probability of a pandemic and stuff like that. They've already thought about all this stuff. This isn't emergency or on the fly, we're just doing... So how have they been caught off the bat? They've already got measures in place for all this, yeah? So having said that, they've planned for all this to measures to be put in place if all this happens, yeah? And because they haven't said what I've just said, you can guarantee that they've not got no plans in that. The plan is, if you're rich, you get you sent out of Dodge and you fucking live off your supplies. Do you know what I mean? They'll get a jump on every motherfucker that's going to go out and do a day job, because they can turn up in the Range Rovers, they can turn up and take it. Before all, you get your two, you can only buy 2 bottles of thing. You didn't say that when Barry with his fucking big fucking shopping trolleys filled all fucking carts. As soon as somebody started panic buying, you should have halted them there and then. No, if you're going to do that, 2 bottles, get fucked. But they didn't, 'cause they're greedy bastards, because taking.
Well, that's human nature, yeah. So we're drifting and getting vexatious, and I'd just like to say, Matt.
So what I'm saying is that these measures have been planned about for years. These measures, so this is the best that they can do. What you've got here, the situation you've got in your hand, all you people that thought, vote for Tories, you'd have got the same shit, don't get me wrong, even if you'd have voted for Labour, Lib Dems, because none of them have got a fucking clue, because none of them are fucking genetic engineers or fucking virus engineers and know how to quell shit, right? You know what I mean? Telling everyone to stay at home, you live in a money system, how do people do that?
Well, yeah,
Tell me how
I'd
you
like
do that.
to.
You need to buy food. You need to get stuff. Everybody's been bred to live day by day, not to grow vegetables in the garden. The supermarket has it there. Why would you want to spend the time growing vegetables when you could be watching Hollywood films? Hey, why the hell would you want knowledge of how to feed yourself when you could be watching bullshit Love Island? Hey, you could be paying Rupert Murdoch fucking stupid amounts, every single family, every single household in the nation, and fucking Richard Branson. You had nothing, no announcements from any of them saying your Sky bill will be paused. You will still have all full access to internet and all services, but your bill will be paused. Do not worry, people. We love you. Beautiful. They don't give a fuck about you.
All right. Can I speak to Matt?
I've got gills behind me.
I know. Just.
People need to start seeing sense and demanding what that entails. You know what I mean? You want everything paused. The financial, everything paused.
You will get a chance to say your piece. It's fine. I just want a chance to reflect and to just let's go with the flow and we're at ease. I don't want to. We don't like in these times quite so much turbulent, aggressive. Let's just So it's my job to bring it down and just bring us in a minute. I'd like to reflect and just let's see where we are here in the grand scheme of things. You've got a lot of passion and we love you for that. I'm not knocking you or having a go. All I'm saying is let's just not continuously go on. I know you can. That's fine, and that's that's what I love you for. I have got things I want to say, and I'm patiently waiting in the art of conversation to say them in reflection. And I'd like to look at the room and introduce who's in, and do what we normally do. So just relax and just let the thoughts flow over you. Feel the vibe, and I want to say what my comments are. Ultimately, there is a lot of billions and trillions being floated around, and I'm seeing that there is a methodology here of what you're saying with the cash society and the demands made upon man and the commitments and responsibilities we have, not just financially but as to our family, to ourselves, mentally, our sanity, our health and our wealth. So unfortunately the demands on man come before health and all of that on that list. So they are we have got reason to believe that there may be things happening underneath this public story, for number one. And number two, you're hitting some key points there where we need access. And can I finish? Let me finish. Man requires access to many things, and if the markets are crashing and there's a lot of news being reported on the economies and what they're doing, instead of us and man injecting billions and trillions and continuing this lunacy of this system, we could stop it, pause it, give man access as the states are doing. It seems that they are giving and they are trying to ensure. I'm not here to slag them off and to say that but up to press, they've let us down and they've caused a lot of failures. There has been massive, and we've highlighted them. You do have a point there as well, but
regarding to that,
just please hold it. I'm getting to the end that they are responsible, and I'm not defending them in any way. All I'm saying is that we could have a climate change, a system change. We could have a change of a change of heart. We have the authority and the power. So if man is sitting up listening at this moment in time, then rather than being angry and vexatious, it's our duty and our honour and privilege to try to lead them into pastures anew and to arm them with defence and knowledge. So there is certifications there is certifications and bonds out there and money on an underground level that man isn't aware of. So as we've come to learn with the finances and monetary mechanics, I'm on about monetary mechanics and the promises and the cash. So if the systems are crashing, what's to stop us from saying, okay, system crash, we've got the AI capability and the quantum and the 5G, we've all got these mobile computers that are disguised as phones but are really mobile computers, high-tech ones at that are, you know, tracking and monitoring and using us as a targeting marketing piece of meat, not a soul and a human. There's no love, Matt's right. There's no compassion. It's love and war. It's industry, and you know, we have the power and the capability to be the controllers of the credit from now on. We don't clearly, you know.
No credit. There is no credit.
Access, abundance, whatever we call it, you know, there is access, abundance. We live in a world of abundance, so we could open up that abundance and declare the world's resources common heritage to man, as we've talked about. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be
changed? They've said our life, will be changed forever. There'll be no going back, and that means they're going to make it. So we've got haves and have-nots still, but instead of having money to touch and paying people cash in hand and shit, all that, you know what I mean? Your civil liberties are going, they're going on the fucking train and off they go by, right? You know, your only rights you can have is right this way, you've got a cop. I ain't got a cop. No, it's coming with me anyway, yeah? So, this is just, they'll not do that pause with the financial stuff, because like they said, we won't be able to...
A debt amnesty, I'm thinking a debt amnesty, forget the debt, cancel the debt, you know.
Once they give
Over to you.
everything for free, then we cannot go back to paying for it, you see, so that's why that will not happen.
Yeah, I know. I'm not arguing with you, Matt, brother. It's not an argument. I was just commenting.
I'm just speaking with passion. I'm not directing
It's
anything
not.
to you.
No.
You're wrong. I'm saying to the people, this is why they won't do those things, because then they will have.
Yeah, we understand that. All right, we get that.
They should be living in, and they won't be able to go back, because you know what I mean. But as it stands, we're going to be stuck in the money system. People are going to have to go to work. I'm grieving. I don't want to be fucking going to work, but I live day by day for fucking money, and you know, it's just bollocks. I don't blame from governments, you know. I don't fucking slate him and then stick my hand out, you know, but we're fucked, you know. People like myself are fucked. People that are rich and can go and get and quarantine themselves and work from home and do other such things will be alright. But other people are going to die just because of...
Well, there is arguments about the pay and let's go for the statutory sick pay and the amounts and who qualifies for that. There is you know, in the good books there, quite a lot of them, not just in the Bible, but the premise of all man is created equal, and all are equal, and all have equal rights. So in that light, okay, you look at business, and business comes in and it says, well, yeah, you're not all equal really. Who's a slave? Well, we've got this many slaves, and we've got this many freelance, and we've got this many self-employed, and because you dare try to go against and not be an incorporated, signed up, fully pledged, you know, employee, and you go freelance and self-employed, you are a problem to the system in a way, because you're not fully under control, but you are reporting in, you know. So when it comes to the statutory,
self-employed plumbers, self-employed electricians, painters and decorators, all these
they're
people
called self-employed tradesmen.
Yeah,
they are.
Unless they've been sensible with the money and they've stockpiled it and fucking bought loads of food, and they can say, fuck that, I'm not going to do nobody's fucking electrician work. They can go swivel for a month, you know. But I'm unfortunately a low-paid donkey, you know, so I ain't got that luxury.
A lot haven't. It's not just you. Thousands. You know, not just you. Lots have.
That's what I say. I'm not bothered about myself, but I can see your world, and you know, I'm just some fucking guy. These people they've been in the meetings, they've planned for this shit to happen. You know, if it happens, they will do this, and this, and this is the best that they can come up with. You know what I mean? This is the best you get, because they've all fucked off. They don't give a shit. They'll do something else.
Let me say hello to there's some scribes in chatting amongst in the room. I ain't said hello to them.
All the best food as well, to have the best diet, to give the best immune system, to the best chance to fighting off disease and viruses.
Okay, thank you. Now let me say hello to the scribes a minute. We have Snafu first in the house. Good evening, welcome. Much love from Scott.
Have a little small run. They've got chemistry.
Okay, off to you go again.
Well, no, they've they've got chemistry, mathematics, Latin, they've got all this knowledge as well. Carry on, sorry.
He's up in Scotland. He's put a comment: Rob S. and John Smith case dismissed, Paisley Court because they're living men. That's right. It depends how you want to represent, and if you stand there and you argue legal person, natural man, and living man, you can have a rather interesting time. Next on in the house was Leo. What? Hello. That's caught on well, Matt. He's the originator of the what. Mathew gave it me when he put me up some time ago in times of hardness.
I can't take credit for me myself. I got it from it comes from
another man.
LJ.
Yeah.
And there is something else to be added to that, and it's who?
We got, thank you, Craig and Williams. Sounds like he's underwater. It sounded like you was underwater. That's a good description of what the phone went like earlier, but we fixed it. Brother Quinn is in. As far as I know, most cases are being admonished. Dave and Matt, how do? Yes, I thank you, Quinn.
Up to everyone, right? Vans off to the States. Carry on. Sorry, just called me high.
Yes, Jerry, how we doing, G-Man? You know, he doesn't take breath, Dave. He's got passion and he's articulated. Yeah, we are happy to have him on his thoughts and his passion in these tribulations and times.
It's not passion, it's just fucking common sense. It's common sense. You can't tell people stay home. Look at them, they didn't even ban pubs. I can see people sitting in a fucking pub. You know, when you've got a nation of fucking alcoholics that drink a liquid that dulls their senses, that makes them fucking, sit down in streets where dogs piss and fucking everything, you know what I mean? Cleanliness goes out the window. You know what I mean?
Yes, true.
There's a guy who I work with, he won't be named for fucking Barry's reasons, but hey, this guy's on some good fucking money. He's got no tools. I've only known him about 4 weeks or so or more, and he's gone through about yay many phones, and he's on piss constantly, and sleeping with different birds, so I don't want him in van. I've told my boss, no, hope that.
Branson's apparently asked for a handout because of flights being ducked off, Matt, says Albert. Hello, Albert. Thank you for that comment. I'll see what Matt says.
By the way, I've just saw something.
Easy. Go on.
Hey, be careful, you're pressing buttons. I heard the beep there.
No, there's no. You're on hands-free on the side, and I haven't touched the phone for 10 minutes, so.
Is it? Well, there's something just beeped. Anyway.
Surprise.
I've got full battery. Reception. So no, I was going to say, all these people, all these companies, these corporation motherfuckers, they'll be getting tax breaks, they'll be getting fucking loss of earnings, claiming on insurance and all that bollocks. They'll get all the money, they'll be covered. You know what I mean? Know that for sure, for 100% sure. I'm not a researcher, but some boffin will do finger, and that'll come out. I can sometimes not predict, but you can kind of tell. It's like you're reading a book that you've already read. You're like, I remember that. Yeah. So that's going to happen, obviously. You know what I mean? It's all stop and search.
The issue that, if I may just say, the issue I have with all of this bailout and funding and billions and trillions and credit creation is that they're adding it to a debt that our blood is going to be born unto and have to be bondage to, the surety for and paid to via deception and all what's going off. So we owe it to our unborn lineage to free ourselves, from mental slavery in our minds, and also our unborn lineage from this potential debt and mortgage death grips that we, it's all very, can I just finish? It's all very well and good us having the power to elect and appoint sovereign monarchs and this, that, the other, and there's talk of the Fed and Trump and politics and listen, let me finish. The Bank of England and what's going off with the money and the fiscal rules that we have. We can change these fiscal rules, and I am just a bit concerned at how many of the points are going up on the debts for our unborn blood. Because
One
it's
question.
all very well and good, creating fictional numbers and printing them and enriching and giving, but do we really need to do that when we live in
It
abundance
doesn't
anyway?
enrich and it doesn't give. The only thing that people are giving at the moment is a virus to each other because of the fucking very thing that you just said about money and thingy. It don't create giving. Look at it. Giving. People are out working. Taxi drivers breathing in other people's shit because Abdul needs a fucking, you know what I mean? And Brian, the taxi driver, needs a fucking... needs the money. But here's a question then. Here's democracy. Here's fucking monarchy. Speaking of which, why not have, when you get a job, why not have on your tax form what you want your money to go to? Yeah? So your money's you're gonna get some tax deducted from you, and you take hospitals, education, this one, and it's got a little, all you need is a fucking tick box. That's all it is, a tick box. A fucking tick box. Do you hear me? A tick box, right? And then you just put, it says royal family, and you put cross or tick. Yeah? And then you'll find out if Britain wants a fucking royal family. Put that on everybody's wage slip, everybody's fucking, so when you get these tax forms, whether you're self-employed, employed, put a tick box here, and you'll see how much funding they get in a year.
I'd just like to just quickly go through the rest of the room and say hello to Sister Lisa and
Ask him, whoever's in the room, I'm asking you.
Vendetta.
Put down if you tick the tick box for a royal family, or if you tick it or put an X through it. We'll have a little bit of democracy here right now.
That's no problem. You have a voice. They can hear you. That's what I agreed to do when I said we'd come on and have a chat. Vendetta, if you, pardon?
How many's in the room?
There is 12 in the room right now, brother.
So out of 12, including me and you, so that 14 is it then?
You're correct with the maths there.
Right then. If there was a tick box on your tax form, what would you tick? I'd tick no to royal family. I'd put an X, if it, and your money won't go to them.
Yes, I do not consent either. For me, no consent.
That's 2 X's so far. We'll see how many X's come in.
No problemo. We will indeed. Now I will continue to just address the rest there. Email me, Vendetta, and we will chat over the next week. I am picking up on the email, so yeah, no problem, and thank you. He wants to get in touch. Let me just see if there's anybody else there. I think I've said hello to them, and let's see the comments. I work in a GP practice. It's madness. I'm deaf in the wrong job. Oh, bless you.
You what? And who?
Works in a GP practice, and it's madness at the moment.
I bet it is. You can't cope. They don't put any money into NHS because they're trying to privatise it. They're playing the games, and then shit like this happens, which they know was coming. There's no fucking way all this shit spread. Not with technology they've got, they'll be able to detect, and they'll be able to show you who contracted it, moved to that city, flew back home to his family here, went there. You know what I mean? This has been released on numerous continents, by numerous governments.
Let me just continue. There's interesting comments.
Anyway, that's just my opinion and my belief.
That's fine. That's good. That's fine. I want to read some of the comments, Matt. Yes, Albert, we've seen the stock market and we're aware of that and what's going off. Craig and Williams, thank you. You're both correct. I love fam. Quinn says another tuber's done a vid today. Can't find the link, but questions were asked of a man in Congress. Is this a man-made virus? And he would not answer. Sister Lisa says she's watched that also, so we got back up there for that. Questions in Congress. Craig and Williams coming on back with take the mark of the beast. All caps name is the name of the beast. I would like just in that moment there to credit brother Kevin here. I was having a little private chat with him today. We was on about princes and principalities and principles and principal trustees, and we went on to thumbprints, all right, and brother Kevin made the connection of, as you have a thumbprint, I went on to discuss about marks and the mark of the beast and so forth, and then we was chatting along this way of line, and blood came into it, and blood prints, and then thumbprints and marks, and then Kevin put the phonics together of, you have a prince as in a royalty, Well, if you have a thumb, a royal thumb, you would have a thumb prince, yes? And even though it's written differently, the prince of royalty ends CE, and the prince of man, the thumbprint ends TS for not the C, the CS. And yeah, interesting. Kevin came up with the principality, and to show that the prince's thumb, the thumb of the prince, the thumb prince, madness. What we get onto.
I don't get what you're saying.
In royalty, there's a prince, yeah, and you can have your thumbprints taken if you like. I think it's a mark, but we'll not get into that. Your thumbprints with a T and an S at the end, yeah. So they put your thumb in ink and you press it, and there is a print of your thumb. That is a thumbprint, okay. But there is also the possibility of swapping that print and putting prints there, because it's a slight change, and you have if you had two thumbprints, you'd have thumbprints, yeah. So the way that Kevin saw it when we was chatting, he said, well, that's the prince of the thumb, the principality, the thumbprints. I'm like a royal thumb, I don't know if you care to. Madness, it's just yeah, we've said that before, correct.
Technology now to have thumbprint scanners. So this is another reason why you'd have access for all, and you can grant it just by a thumbprint scanner. It doesn't refuse your fucking access to your education, to your housing, to your food, to all the relevant goods and services that all people, if you believe in all people being equal, that is, genuinely 100% believe in all people being equal, then you'd be subscribing to a system where a computer, not a greedy bastard, not a bent fucker that fucks kids, not a cocaine addict, not a machine that's been programmed, just like you're trusting your fucking cars to park you in your parking spaces if you can afford those cars. I've never driven one, but my mate was telling me about, I were in Brian's car and he pulled up and he pressed this button and he fucking reversed in and he parked for him. That is a machine that has been programmed to do something. If you're scared of that, fuck me. You know what I mean? You better go back to horse and cart and proper digging wells and getting your water from, don't have it come from a tap, it goes through a machine. It's automated. You know what I mean? Don't have any bottled water out like that. It's all bottled by a machine. You know what I mean? So just in case anybody tries to say a machine will take over. So yeah, you have a machine that denies access to nobody. Say if you're in my world, if you go into your access centre and you're picking up, you're checking out 10 bananas, yeah, and you're throwing away 3 of them, and because you could have very intrusive measures that are intrusive in this world because it's a fuck you pay me system and a corrupt nasty one, yeah. So in my world, your garbage could be monitored, you know what I mean? So, well, you won't waste banana skins because they're very highly valuable as plant food, basically. So banana skins won't go into other composting, stuff would be recycled. But anyway, so you get a text message saying, hey, you keep taking 10 bananas, but you're only actually eating 7. Can you just take 7? And if you need any more, come and grab them, no problem. Do you know what I mean? That's an intelligent machine kind of computer, you know what I mean? Not running things, just overseeing automated activities and things. You know, people arriving at decisions, not being told this or blagged anything. Computer says, yeah, you can do what you want, but that resource there will run out in 10 years. So I suggest you know what I mean? The computer would suggest that you would think of another solution to the problem that you were facing at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we won't be telling you what to do. It won't be like no fucking pre-programmed. So get your pre-programmed responses out of your head. Will Smith, what is it? What was that called? AI? I forgot what it was called now.
iRobot.
iRobot, were it? Artificial, yeah. And all them other fucking things that are made only to put like Terminator, they're all made to put a response. So when somebody suggests something like that, you go, oh no, the machine taking over. Yeah, but you're happy to be governed by Boris Johnson.
I don't know, I'm not happy. I'm not governed, and I'm not happy. I'm self-governed.
You're happy to have kings and queens. You're happy to have, you know, about corporations running wild, creating viruses and releasing them into humanity.
Right, yes, I have some prima facie evidence at the minute from the anonymous circle, and thank you all for your concerns and expert diligence in watching the subtext of the context within the text of the story. So, speaking of cons and conservative and conspiracy and context, you are very confluent with your eye, and there is an alleged design on a certain COVID, and there may be links to certain distributions, contaminations within, and like it was you that introduced me to economic hitman, Matt, when you told me about men with monies going into markets and doing things and going out and destroying from within secretly, but covertly. So I'm not laying claim. I'm just saying that I'm thanking you all for your concern and your diligence of. We're not to be fooled, and there is a public, stage there going off, and they do often sometimes, find out that people have tried to do things to ruin economies and crimes. They're crimes, basically. Crimes are committed rather than it being an accidental outburst of. There may be more than one thing going off here. We've had SARS and Zika and Ebola, and everything's been managed and contained well. Lest we not forget, we're all still here after swine flus and SARSes and all of them that I've mentioned and more. So these establishments, as much as we despise and mock them for their failings, they have managed to reasonably keep most of the planet realm safe. I'm not here to defend everything, but I am here as the voice of reason as well, to balance it out, the scales. Yeah, they're not perfect, but we're all here, and we were doing a lot better a few weeks ago than we are now. I don't have claim as to how this started, but I thank you all for your expert, ruthless, reporting and research and coming back together and sharing it as well. I will continue to see what we can find about,
If anybody's ever studied any kind of history and looked at any kind of shit and ever looked at and proper got their head down into stuff.
Eugenics. I talked about eugenics and things, Matt, the other day.
They will know that there's shit stinks, shit stinks about all of this, and you don't put anything past any of these governments, because all of the governments in the fucking world have attacked their people at one time or another. You can, Mark, you fucking break your bottom dollar about that. They've infected you with stuff. They've done it, in America they admitted to it. They walked into hospitals. People were sat in hospital for various reasons, various ailments from various fucking thingies. Predominantly, I think it was done to the black population as well. But basically, a doctor came up to them and gave an injection and injected them with fucking, is it plutonium or some kind of shit, because they wanted to study, the government wanted to study the effects of radiation poisoning on people, on live test subjects, yeah? So then, from afar, their medical records through their surgeries and stuff, they were fucking monitored for the effects, how fast they died, all illnesses they got, because they obviously went back to their own feeling sick, feeling this, you know what I mean? And these people all fucking died. Freedom of Information Act, and shit comes out, and this is how this bloke's fucking one bloke, because there were one bloke from the whole fucking thing that basically baffled them, because he was, this one black guy was he lived up into his 80s.
Agent Orange in Vietnam and the things of the chemical warfare.
All the notes were like, about him, because all the rest had just died, because obviously they'd injected him with fucking pure radiation, and I'm sure it was plutonium. They've done some nasty shit, governments, to the people.
Cigarettes. Look at cigarettes and alcohol.
They closed all minds down, and they just fucking turned police on fucking good working people like nothing. We aren't part of an island. You know what I mean? Shit like this happened. So that's when I say it's been released. I say that with conviction, because it will come out. Truth will out. Truth will fucking out. You know what I mean? So, and you can see how things are handled. You've got coppers driving up and down. I've just moved because I've just been driven past it by coppers. So I've just moved. It's already on. It's already on. Fucking telling people to get back in their houses, telling us what to do, but yet not telling people who they should be doing. All big corporations, all governments, if they're any sign, if they're not sacks of shit like I think they are, right, they should be putting a big, massive fucking choker to anybody who's got dogs will know what a choker chain is. And it chokes the dog if it's pulling. If it starts to pull, it chokes it. And it's supposed to fucking stop it from choking. But I've never seen one really work. But metaphorically, one of them needs putting around the big corporations, big business, and just yanking up. He'll sit the fuck down. I'm just, you know what I mean? But it's a dog that's out of control. It is out of control. It rules everything, and it's just a fucking dog. You know what I mean? It's like one of them people that lets the dog take piss out of them, and you know what I mean? That's the fucking dog at the end of the day, and that relies on you for food. That relies on you.
Wait, can I speak? I'd just like to
say...
say...
I'm just finishing. So that dog relies on you for food and its care. That dog's nothing without you. You know what I mean? And that's exactly the same as a government, as all these corporations. They're just a fucking dog. You know what I mean? And we're not dogs. We're men. We're men.
We're not dogs of war. For those of you that are interested in a little parody that's just played out in my mind, listening to Brother outlay his thoughts, feelings, and you know what he's just done. Look at Disney. Look at the dogs of Disney. You've got what? You've got Goofy and you've got Pluto. Okay, so Goofy's a what? Goofy's not a man. Goofy's a dog. All right, and he's got a dog called Pluto. So what have we got here? We've got a canine owning a canine. We've got a species owning a species here, depicted by Disney. And when my man, I forget, a long time ago, we was having a chat about Disney, and he pointed out that there's codes within codes, and when you're looking at Disney, you need to look at what they've done with the species. And I'm like, what? The Lion King? He says, no, that's after. What's going on? He goes, look at the dogs there. Dogs owning dogs. Dogs of war. Dog soldiers. Yeah, man. Interesting, hey? Interesting.
Disney were also big on all that syntax fucking thingy because they had for legal reasons, they had to invent a thingy, and they were big on all that.
A language, their text and language.
Yeah, so it could be differentiated, and they could put certain stuff in cartoon form or in a comic book, and it would be, I can't remember the ins and outs.
You got cartography.
Like I say, when coronavirus is about, and fucking the cool thing in couples about this flat earth, all that falls out straight out the window. Who gives a fuck? I want to know what food I can eat from fucking ground that God created. The creator created flat earth, globe, I don't give a shit, but he did create lots of herbs and lots of fucking root vegetables. He created mushrooms, and that's what fucking people should be talking about. And yes, you get them from here at this certain time, they're found on these trees only. So if they're not on them trees, they might look like that mushroom, but it's not. It's this killer one that fucks your shit up. Proper knowledge, what they want. It's gonna get chaotic, innit? It's gonna get stupid. I've been sat for fucking how long saying I can't wait for it, but I'll say that it's gonna be fun. I'm quite far away from my kids. I just lost the mum, and it's not good. I'm worried that somebody's going to say, you've got to stick to your area, can't go up there. Because that means I've got to start walking through fields. That's a big journey, that. Oh, we're good at, having said that, we're good at man, nobody ever found me.
We'll see. We got support networks and technology. We can utilise technology and apps and stuff like they have been with. I don't like the word lockdown. We're not under military, official military. We are at war, so to speak, and silent weapons and soft kills. But that aside, we are able to utilise technology for the time being, and we have to wait and see. We don't have independent resource avenues, and we don't have independent avenues of sources of information. We have to take it on trust. The public has a trust, so we'll see. It seems to be getting
I'll just say I'm exercising.
It seems to be getting. I just want to say it seems to be getting under control in Lombardy and Italy and wet places. I'm no expert and I'm not there, so I don't know. I've got contacts that are giving me bits of information, and you know,
how many people's actually seen anybody or seen anybody die of corona, or fucking is qualified to say, yeah, I examined the blood and I know how to tell. I know exactly what that virus looks like when you know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck it looks like. I've seen some weird images in papers and on covers of newspapers. That's all I look at is the covers of newspapers. I don't pick them up and look at them and read that shit. Don't listen to news. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of people using it quite a bit of fucking religion here. And when it's a religion, I say belief. You know, all this shit that's happening around the world. You're getting shown people spraying the streets. You're getting shown this and that. But hey, what do you know? At the end of the day, what do you know? What do I know? Fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Because we've been bred like this. We're not qualified. Give us a full lab. Put me in a full lab. I won't know what the fuck to do. Do you know what I mean? They've had no training in it. Nobody has, except for certain people. Do you know what I mean? You've got to sit back and believe everything.
Oxbridge and the Oxbridge and Eatons and the privileged ones are the ones that are educated, and we are indoctrinated. That's the difference. Mark Twain, Nikola Tesla's friend and ally, never let school get in the way of your education. So much like if you're a grower and not a shower, then don't worry, I'm not going into a little rap here, but if you're a grower, you know that the luminescence is what provides that fruit. And if you have wanting a yield of a fruit and you provide a high, accurate, sufficient luminescence and a great bed and some feed and all of the environment for that vegetable matter is perfect, you will get the yield that you desire, and nature will reward you for taking care and find balance of life. And in life we have a balance, and our light is being dimmed. And I don't say that in reference to geopolitical warfare of nano-sized aerosol sprays in the skies in the form of geoengineering and chemtrails. I mean that you and I are all flowers in the Creator's garden, and our light has been dimmed via arrested development and contrived medicines and poisoned foods by proxy of the process they go through. So man's right there. I'm reading through the lines and I'm mentally playing out. If we're hothouse flowers.
If you keep a kid, if you've got a child and you and your missus, and you keep that kid suckling on her tea till he's 16, literally suckling on tea, people would think that's weird and backwards. But yet, as a society, on many different fucking continents, you know, we've put up for and fucking we've set up for that. You know what I mean? It's all on us, you know. It's just mental. There'll be people now down in city centres trying to go clubbing.
What about these faiths and religions that we have as well? How we have faith in them to devote in times of desperation and suffering. If we suffer enough, we might just qualify to get into heaven, Matt, though. If we go through enough suffering every day and we cry and we go through the pain, then our Lord will let us in. The church and the faith will redeem us through our levels of suffering and our tears of woe.
They can't say shit. They were all written with fucking ink by a man. All lot of it. They were all written by ink by a man. By a man with ink. I don't care. You know, there's a lot to take from the Bible, the Quran, and all the religions. You know, as a collective, you know, group of books and knowledge and wisdoms in it. But when you do look at them all, and you see there's an equation. So whether it is a fucking just a simulation that we're living in, and this is just part of this simulation, and you know what I mean, don't forget, you know what I mean, I don't know, nobody can tell you that stuff, but when you look at enough stuff, you start to build a bigger picture, and at the end of the day, nothing stops. When this body, when you know what I mean, you can be shocked out of it, you can be doing things, but you leave this physical body, and your energy, whether you become energy like, because you can't see Wi-Fi and it exists. Because you know what I mean, I can't see phone reception up to this phone what I'm speaking on. on it and you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you can hear me. So therefore it exists. So I know for a fact that it is definitely 100% possible because of all the energy. And because when you're a little kid, when by the time you're is it 45 or something, all the cells in your body have died and been replaced about 3 or 4 times. So you're essentially not the same fucking. Do you know what I mean? You've dematerialised 3 times. All the cells have died and passed on. So what's passing on that fucking memory? Where's the consciousness? You know, hell, nobody knows. Brain scientists can't tell you anything. So you can leave that body, and that's what happens. You leave it and you carry on. Whether you're aware of your consciousness still, whether you just blend into the one, I don't know. You know, you might just return to the source. I don't know, whatever that means. But I've looked at all religions and I've looked at simulation theory as well. And they all tie in together. And there's an underlying equation. It's like the karma. If you do this, this happens. If you treat, you know what I mean? That's why the Venus Project, a technologically based, resource-based economy, where there is no government, you get rid of all money and systems of credit, and you have profits for none, service for all, equal access, you know.
Profits for none, service for all. Profits for none, service for all.
Bring library books back? Because when libraries first opened, public libraries, people said they won't work, nobody will bring books back. But they do take books back, and that's why libraries worked. So access centres do work, because a library is an access fucking centre. So they do work.
Supermarkets,
People do
schools.
like them. So they don't want to buy a book, so I just do and check one out and read it. Do you know what I mean? No point in fucking selling 50,000 books, and do you know what I mean? It's just fucking bollocks. And when you've got a digital age where you can have all books digitally downloadable, do you know what I mean? It's only because an idiot says, oh, well, you've got to pay per thing. You can distribute knowledge around this planet instantly, fucking at this point, very now, as we speak. So it's bollocks, all this paying for shit and fucking. It will have a better society, more educated, more prepared, more fucking adapt, more fucking, you know, intelligent. I'm not fucking got no ego. You know, I don't want a fucking world full of fucking dumbasses like me. You know what I mean? I want the world to fucking progress, not fucking get held up.
We are being held up by gunpoint. We're being held up by progression-wise, and we're being held up by gunpoint to some extent, because if you do not pay, they will lock you up and throw away the key in some instances and tell you you're a bad person, and you know.
It's ridiculous, money sister. That's what I mean. People aren't bad. Oh, look at him, he's homeless. Oh,
It's a-
now he's fucked.
Wait.
He's been chewed up by a system.
Can I just say, what's your opinion on a criminal offence by not having a TV licence? They're looking at decriminalising a TV licence for some of the old age pensioners.
I've paid it for years. I've got 3 years TV licenses for same address, and I can read them out one day on a video. I'll go through them. This is what happens. They're just fucking nonsense. But as soon as that happened with Jimmy Savile, that were it. How dare you fucking even look and send me a fucking letter, but you will. Through an automated service, an automated computer system, may I add, with a computer-generated font signature that you can get it on fucking Windows Summer. You know what I mean? It's a load of bollocks. They aided and abetted a guy.
It's the British Broadcasting Corporation.
They aided and abetted a guy who slept with dead bodies, that molested kids, that fucking were just a nasty bastard because they were in with him. Because, you know what I mean? There's only one way you get away with all that shit, is if you've got secrets on people, if you're part of a club.
I'd just like to say it's been fun, everybody. It has been fun, and we probably won't be back. No, I'm not ending it, Matt. I'm just saying the content that you're delivering tonight and the style that you're delivering it in. I'm just let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. I know it's your opinion, and I love you for it, and I won't stop loving you. But I'm just saying to the scribes now. It may be the last cast you see because there may be no more channel. Continue, Matt. You're not saying out wrong, are you just saying it's the passion and the way that you're saying
No,
it,
I'm just
rendering
it's just an opinion.
liabilities,
If you're not
liabilities
free, if you're not free
is
to air
truth.
your
It
opinions
is
and your
truth.
thoughts based on certain facts and certain situations that occur in the world and use intuition and use your own thinking, I can believe what I want. I'm not trying to take anybody to court. I'm not trying to think it. I'm telling you this is what I believe. You know, you don't get away with that shit. You know what I mean? Unless you're protected. If you're protected and people are aware that you're doing that kind of shit, they must be okay with it. They must do that shit as well.
Well, no,
It's common
yeah,
fucking sense.
no, we
You know,
no longer wish to engage with such entities of evil.
and so
That's
I don't,
our
yeah,
opinion.
so for them reasons, I don't associate with shit. I live my life for when I die, for what happens afterwards. Yeah, because I believe something does happen afterwards, yeah, and I believe that certain things that we do in this life, do you know what I mean? Kids are fucking led off at track and off at rails, so they can create themselves so much bad karma. By the time they realise they're going to spend the rest of their life fucking, do you know what I mean? Changing their ways and shit, but you know, you got to do bad things, but you know, I ain't done a lot of bad things, but well, I'll be judged anyway for whatever I've done, and I'm fully aware of that. But I'm really glad I didn't do any bad things. I've only had 3 physical fights in my life. I've not really, you know, to my knowledge. But when you die, you'll probably be shown all truths. What if you thought somebody thought something about you? You'll be shown what they really thought of you, good or bad, and how you made them feel, how they made you feel. You know, all them kind of shit. That's the day. That's your judgment, and that's your weighing on your scales. And what we partake in is what we fucking, that's why Gandhi said, you partake in the evil. You know what I mean? Somebody with a good soul would resist that with all their soul. You know, partaking in the evil, or being bred to do it. What's that easy listening music going on there?
Yeah, it's required. It's for me. It's to keep me. It helps me keep.
I'll sing to it. It'll come like a thief in the night, but don't be afraid. Live in love, live in love, live in love. Don't be afraid. Live in love. Does it well? Says in Bible, come like a thief in the night. Thief in the night, coming. It's coming. They slipped it in. But now, it won't be the end of the world, but hopefully, and it probably won't, people will just bend over like a council tax, you know what I mean? Oh, they don't pay me another tax. They'll have some kind of tax that you pay an extra bit, or there'll be some politics. You're going to pay with fucking your tears, your relatives, and, you know, horrible. But,
Lest we not forget, we have got technologies from hundreds of years ago from famous professors, like we are pro-creators and pro. We say it's bad to be pro. It's not always bad to be professional. Professors of life, professors, Mad Professor, Pro Green. He influenced me. I've warmed up a DJ set for that very man. He was an inspiration, a lyrical inspiration to me. He was, if I may say so. We are allowed to to just take a moment in this realm and profess as pro-creators. What were you saying, Matt?
Like food be a medicine and medicine be a food. Professor Green, he did a couple of good tunes, that's about it really. He got quite a lot of access credits on it.
Yeah. Let's go to say hello to the room. Jerry, Quinn, Lisa, I see the comments. Stephen, in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, let it be. Oh, praise be for those words, brother Stephen. Quinn, gonna vet Matt to blow up balloons at my next party. His breath never stops. From brother Quinn. He said with love, Matt.
You get one till your dying breath. This is till my dying breath. I'm seeing fundamental flaws in a society and a system that I do not agree with, and it's fucking shocking that other people don't see it in my eyes and in my opinion.
No, we do see it. We do. It's just,
I'm just
We're not all blind.
About it, and I will to my dying breath. I'll stand in a court and let some fucking court and some solicitor try and convince me that the world I'm talking about that should exist can't exist because of X reason or whatever reason. There'll be no factual evidence that you can bring with me other than fuck you, that's the way it is. I'm sorry, that doesn't go in law. I thought it were based on facts. So I'm giving you all these automated systems that can run things, that can be implemented, and that is a fact. And you're telling me, oh no, we need money system, we need lawyers, we need a system of law. No, you need a system of law because you have fucking haves and have-nots. Because you don't distribute goods and services evenly to the population. You don't give access to the population. You make them give that special life that's granted to them, right? You make them give it up for fucking X amount of hours a day, getting longer and longer, having 2 jobs and paying fucking more and more. You have them running around in a fucking circle. As soon as they leave fucking school, you brainwash them out of school, and then you fucking bastard leave them running in a circle like they've got brain damage. I remember my mate, he had a puppy, and we felt really sorry for it because it basically got this puppy off someone. It's running around in a circle all the time. They take it to the vet, it's fucked, its brain's fucked, and that's why it's running around in a circle all the time. That's why they gave it away, whoever were owned it before. But that's essentially what happens to people, humanity. You're left running around in a circle with brain damage. Sorry for the analogy, but it's including myself as well. So yeah, I won't be proven wrong. If somebody can prove me wrong, do you know what I mean? Because some people will say, oh, it's communism, or do you know what I mean? No, that's why you need all these lawyers and these stupid man-made laws, acts and statutes, because it's out of control. The money system makes things go out of control. It makes people not have stuff. You've got marketing companies showing adverts to everybody equally on the planet, but no, everybody that sees these adverts don't have equal access. People have plenty of credits, and so they go and get access. Other people rob things, fucking sell things, sell the body, sell the soul, and then they go out and get access to these things. And oh, I've made it. Look at me, I'm living the high life now. I've made it. It's bullshit. It's nothing. It's just a joke. It's not reality. It's not how it should be, and it's disgusting. All I'm talking about is the practical application of all the religious values. All men are created fucking equal.
Go on, Matt. Preach, Matt. Preach. He's on a preach mode.
Created equal. Do you know what I mean? So if you believe that, then what's the fucking problem? Do you know what I mean? What's the fucking problem? I mean, I don't want I want machines to take everybody's motherfucking job. And it's like Jack Fresco said, he says, when a machine takes people's jobs, they fucking should get pay rises and shit. And you know, it's just bollocks. You get rid of it. Listen to every fucking bit, every hour, every minute of his voice that he can. Because the guy, I don't agree with 100% with everything. He wasn't very spiritual. But that's doesn't matter. That's his fucking, you know what I mean? He was a very mechanical engineered mind man. But at the end of the day, it's mechanically engineered men that run your world, that you rely on every day when you're driving your car, when you're fucking using a phone, you know what I mean? When you're thinking, can you knock up a fucking Nokia in your phone? Can you, in your shed, can you knock up an iPhone? You know what I mean? No, you need fucking automated production lines, and you need people with steady hands where you can get robots that fucking cut up cadavers better than, more accurate than a bloke can. You know, we're not supposed to be doing all this shit. But it's just a world of an illusion.
Thank you, brother. You are blessed there in your words. That was a good preach.
I'm going to dry mouth now, so I'm going to take a sip of water.
Please do. Please do.
Apparently you've got to keep washing it down into your stomach, otherwise it can get into your lungs. Right, anyway.
Brother Anders, I like that comment there. Have no fellowship with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Borean literal Bible, and do not have fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather even expose them. Anders, beautiful. Thank you, brother. Dom, best start making up some karmic ground then, hadn't we? Love this guy, Craig and Williams. Love you, Matt. There you go. There's a shout to you from Craig and Williams. Love this guy. Lisa, has always said you have to be a really special person, vocation-wise, to do it. What we on about here?
I talk
Spot
like this to
on.
people. Sorry.
Yeah, Quinn, this is what I found. Too much empathy and it hurt. Couldn't change the world for them, sort of thing. So they're on their own chat here. With regards to, I'm just catching up there with me. It'll only take a minute. Albert's gone to bed. All right, brother, on the replay. Good night for that. Sorry, just catching up. They control rich are all going south while we're in quarantine. Control the rich are all going south. I think that must be reference America. What's going on here? I need to catch up. My brother is a carer. He goes to different elderly, loves it and has a great time. Knowledge gives help to them from Jerry. Well done,
I
that's
know a kid
nice.
who does that.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, the common unity of man. It would be a nice time to be in a third world country with no military. Well said, Benjamin, yeah. I think I've caught up now then, yeah, we're all good.
Well, that's another thing I was going to say to people. Don't worry, it's just like Christmas with no snow.
What's happening?
Everybody at home, only thing is, every fucker's worried about childcare, costs, bills. They've got you by bollocks on stress levels. It's very funny. On stress levels, 0 out of 10 out of fucking 0 to 10, I'd say they've got everybody on at least a 9.5.
Jerry, no matter what, who we know, they're not doing what's just right or proper to the people. Well said.
They'll never know. Nobody knows what that fucking means. And just right and proper. That is the Venus Project, in my opinion. But everybody's opinion is different. So some people, like I say, will want money because then it gives you a possibility of somebody being in power. We're bred to have a feeling of superiority over the next man. That's why you get such things as, what the fuck's he looking at? What are you looking at? Don't indicate. Ooh, my arms are bigger than him. I can't take that. I can't take him looking at me. Or I can't take him saying, what that looking at? And then everybody goes, I'm better than you. Oh, let's have a fight. Come on, rumblefish. Motherfucker.
Yeah. News, I know there's a lot going off. I'm catching up. New NWO Triple X. Thank you. Hello. I've caught up with everything. Agenda 2030 was a smokescreen. It was really Agenda 21, 18 months for the vaccine from Allison. The England have found out and have been disclosed, so you cannot deny them. We have the proof and the evidence and the documentaries and the papers, so yeah, sustained. Thank you, Alison. Stephen, with some canon law. I wouldn't give them the grace. My son had a temperature that I had to stay up for 3 nights, cooling him with dampened towels. I slept in the sitting room with him. I hope he's all right, Jerry, and I know you've not been well, so much love and respect for that. Lisa's mum is worried about the herd immunity. Okay, thank you for the information.
We'll be knocking you up with some rape vaccine soon. But on for children, I don't know. I'd get some lemon down and whether they like it or not.
Cider vinegar, you got alkalinities to go.
And if you've got some kind of, you could do with some kind of, nobody has a silver spoon. You could let a baby or they could let a thingy suck that.
There's lots of we got superfoods, we got the honeys and the gingers and the lemons and the alkalinity, for that, and the cider vinegars, the vinegars that they know about as well. You got the we got a lot there. Nature.
Cut meat out for a good fucking few months. Just eat your veg. Just eat veg. Cut meat out. Don't drink no Coca-Cola shit. And then if anything does come to you, you're going to resist it more, you're going to fight it off quicker, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to see what we say. Remember, we are...
And my thing is, it's wank I've got. I mean, it's rubbish. Pardon my French. I'm a common man. Pardon my French. We're all the same way in a certain thing. I try to think it, but hey, that's my subconscious. So, what a pile load of others to shit in on top of that subconscious. So.
I noticed the two flags behind Boris. Yes, the double X behind when they speak and the way they presented and the symbology and the words to the people, Stephen.
Bankers paying an actor named Boris.
Gangsters, banksters, gangsters,
They're
and
all
banksters.
actors. Boris, Corbyn, the lot. You're governed by essentially people that are essentially just a little bit cleverer.
Can I just stop? We were previously classified as being governed by this state here, but now we have self-knowledge, self-awareness, and our persons are governed by act. My law would be comparable to scripture law, if anything. The Ten Commandments I'm referencing there. So I self, David, am governed by my conscionable thoughts. I have my awareness in my brain, which is my conscious. I have my soul, and I have the ghost of the essence of the creator, the coding, the DNA, the numbers, the Fibonacci, the phi, the pi, all of it going off inside. So I have a consciousness in my head. I have my soul somewhere in my chest area, not the kundalini, but the essence of David, and I have the energy of the creator. So I am three, and I am governed by the universal positive natural law. I testify before you, my fam, today. My person, Mr. David Jeremita, all caps, is the one there that is governable by said statutory Westminster legislation that is mandated upon my person. I am not a person. Over to you.
You're governed by your subconscious 97% of the time. You're flattering yourself if you're all different. You know, that 2% of consciousness, 3% of consciousness, 5 maximum, you know, if you're like a Buddhist monk, maybe. And you've been living in a temple all your life, away from television and all that. We're all governed by a subconscious, and that's why we all have to be aware of what we're capable of because of what we've been programmed by. The people watching EastEnders, Rambo, you know, I've watched it, Beverly Hills Cop, I've watched it all, it's all in there, I can't take it out, I can't erase it, can't wipe it away. That's recorded for all my days on my subconscious. My subconscious reacts. That's what makes you a better driver. How did people get better? How did Colin McRae get better at driving, you know, a rally car? You know, because he did it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You know, that's how. So, you know, and that's how you were able to walk, that's how you're able to talk, that's how you're able to repeat a song off you know, when you've got it locked down. You know what I mean? You don't forget how to so your memory and your thing is that, you know, so people can, that's why you have to be careful when you say things like, you know, I'm this, or I'm kind of that, or, you know what I mean? Because we're all tainted. We're all tainted. That's my mark of the beast. That's in my mind the mark of the beast that's imprinted on everybody. It's getting imprinted on people, children at school. You know what I mean? There's no reason for these kids to be at these schools in England. What they're missing out at, every fucker's got internet. You get parents and shit are getting emails of homework and stuff. So all kids have got laptops. They could be at home doing their homework. The teachers could be doing a fucking cast. You know what I mean? So why have they got kids at school? Because kids mix and they fucking dirty little fuckers, and they'll rub all that shit, they'll take it back into their houses, and then it spreads. You know what I mean? This incompetence on every fucking level. Incompetence. There's no more. There's no. Do you know what I mean? How is it I'm sat here saying this? Your newspapers aren't saying shit. Your radios aren't saying shit. Your fucking TVs aren't saying shit. Pointing out this shit. You know what I mean? Is the government
Some actually have, Matt, on the news and the radio and channels have expressed concerns at the lack of testing, and we have countries and bodies. I'm telling you, there has been expressed international concern from parties that say, "Wow, really?" So yes, Kevin was involved in a family meeting yesterday by proxy of being on speakerphone, and helped me get back up to get Yanker off today, despite the policy being later made today and for Friday, because of occupational, requirements for emergency workers, doctors, teachers, such things. So yeah, we wait. Let me finish. We saw that the state was safeguarding in a way the government, the way they're looking after the children by going to school, so that the workforce for the NHS and backbone of the police and so forth would be able to continue working as long as possible while the hospitals and the infrastructure prepared. We've seen a delay. I'm not defending them. All I'm saying is that they have outlined certain things, like when they said they was containing it, they didn't know where it was. We came on and there was a lockdown in Italy happening at that moment, and there was concern in China, and there was 26,000 tests being done a day in Korea. Donald Trump come on the news and said, hey, we're under control, we've got hardly any infections, and it was just a fallacy. We've seen a world stage reporting rather lax. You are not privy to it, but we are not privy. You're not privy to all of it, but we have pointed that out, and so have the international community. And I'd like to say that I'm looking at Russia and thinking that there's hardly any activity in Russia whatsoever. I'm not pointing fingers, but Russia and China have got a oil relationship and a transfer relationship. I'm thinking Russia's. Yeah. I'm not having a go, pointing fingers.
I've just been working
okay.
With two Russians,
off you go.
Right? They were both mum and dad are Russian. Both the parents, they brought up in Lithuania. Yeah. So the Russian, but brought up there. Yeah. We were talking about NHS, and he was saying how shit it was. We were talking about it the other day, and he said, "Oh yeah," I think he said same, because he gets his blood tested here, and they say, "Yeah, there's no wrong, blah 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 blah," and he said he gets results, and it's just because they expect everybody to be a fucking idiot, you see. Yeah, because everybody is uneducated in this thingy, so they're like, oh, only a doctor needs to know that, so it says NA, and he says, so I went back he went back home, he'd been back home, and he has a test done, and straight away on their tests, they have all results of all the fucking shit what they've tested for, and they have what is normal. So the side of what is normal, you've got your results. So you can see straight away, fuck me, don't have to be an idiot. If normal's 7 and mine's fucking 3, something's wrong, or if normal's 7 and mine's 14, you can see, and then you talk about stuff. So he was like, I went home, had this same test, they said, fuck me, this is wrong, you need this, and this. He said, he come back, and doctors were like, oh yeah, something, basically, he said, you know what I mean, your doctors are shit, basically.
We have talked about this previous, a good point to mention that.
But then people are educated over there, and plus, they're not, you know what I mean? They're talking about how it spread. Why would they not? Because of a money system, again, because it spread because of your money system. It's the root of all problems. I'll go back to it day after day, time after time. You bring a problem, I'll show you how it is. And it's because of this. Because they were afraid of affecting stock markets, which is money, not people that can get infected by a virus that's killing people. Yeah, stocks and shares, private corporations, airlines. You could just trap people. If you've gone to China, yeah, and you're from England, sorry, there's a fucking outbreak there, mate. You're staying there. You went there.
It's only, can I just say that it's only like...
Wait. Nobody forced you to go to China. So it's same. All travel should have been suspended. And then you could concentrate on goods that's travelling throughout the world to not disrupt food lines and stuff, so you can treat stuff, and they'll be spraying shit up food with all sorts. But yeah, so basically there's loads more they could have done. But because of stocks and shares and the money system, no, you've got to let people travel because they're paying for the airline tickets, and then all that fuel that they use, that's economy, a monetary system economy. You don't get that in a resource-based economy, because all cities are growing their own food and they're all self-sustaining. You're not sending fucking avocados fucking from Peru to Sheffield, England, or do you know what I mean? Liverpool, Manchester. You know what I mean? You can grow them hydroponically. What the fuck are we getting them from Peru for?
And also,
Because we've demonetarised their thingy, and one of our pounds is worth fucking 20 of their fucking whatever. Bullshit. Carry on, sorry.
we've got, no, you're quite relevant, points relevant there. We've got, a global crisis with gases and temperatures and ice caps melting and floods and rains. I'm going to just stick to as if it's a global thing and not anything to do with harps and chemicals and modern interference by Bill Gates and co. But we've got an environmental issue of which we're all aware of, and we've had the world's assets, sons and daughters, princes and princesses come out and appeal to man, actually to man, and say, excuse me everybody, the world's dying and you lot aren't doing out. We're going to grow up to have we're going to have to clear this up. Can you help us out? And what have we done? We've allowed aeroplanes to allegedly continue to fly, polluting and sending rockets up to reverse back down and polluting, cutting holes in every which way we can. Diesel cars and petrol. Matt was the one that brought to me Nikolai Tesla and the magnetic propulsion system, and the way that the scientists work, and the arrested development of the combustion engine over 0 point vortex mathematics, the ways that we've got the 0 point energies and to work in line and harness the bits of energy that we can't see that exist in matter, antimatter, dark matter, etc. Plasma waves and light waves that we find. So we have this functionality where we've allowed to pollute, and the children have come and said, what, go on? And we've still allowed, because of what Matt's saying there, because of this alleged world pollution and gases and toxicity, whatever aeroplanes, allegedly run on, I'm doing it as if they run on fuel. There is claims that they don't always run on fuel, and there's madness afoot what's come out in the last 20 years. But the commercial need for money and transport and business meant that we didn't stop using aeroplanes in the face of a global climate crisis, because the commerce required them. Shh. Yeah, you're right, Matt. We see it time and time again when it's
when you watch Jack Prescott, Larry King Show 1974, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I tell me, Ashley, once more from the top. Let's have a rewind. Here you go. Right, all of the tapes, all of the CDs, the records, the vinyl records, the turntables, the Hitachi stereo stacker systems, the Betamax videos, players, the DVDs, the VHS, all of these,
computer games,
all of those things, the computer
SNES cartridges and Atari and
all of the factories that were built, the materials to build all those things, plus all the material to build those factories that built all those things, plus the raw materials and the fuel and the consumption and everything and the labour and everything. I'm not clever enough to calculate it, but all those resources needn't have been used, and they're still being wasted today because they're still trying to sell you a DVD that can be in a form of digital, not tangible, non-physical. Do you know what I mean? No resources used to fucking do it. But people are still buying them things because they're not educated on that kind of level of what has been wasted. That is a level of a monumental fucking, do you know what I mean? Pile all that shit up, get all that resources and put it back into oil, or put it back into, all its component raw fucking when it comes out of earth materials, and put that in a pile, and that'll give you a gravity of how much, and that's just a drop in tip at iceberg, that, of how much resources.
Dropping tip at iceberg.
has been wasted just in my lifetime. 2 years before, that's 45 years in 40, because that's when Fresco were on about what he were on about, and what he's describing. If you watch that interview in 1974, what he's talking about is all the world's resources, all the world's music, television program, all that kind of stuff, all on a central computer.
Archive and library, a digital,
Essentially, a
yeah,
cloud. That's what he's talking about.
cloud, yeah.
He'll dial the number because they still have turntable. Then where you have numbers on it, and you have to wait for it to go all the way back round before you could do another number. So you go one,
telephone,
two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
them
get
old
you,
ones
we
with
get you.
thingy ringer and people I might not be old enough to remember, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
articulate that. But yeah, them. So but that's what you're on about. And then he's on about, oh, what about TV sets? And he's like, no, you just have a screen on wall, a flat screen. And it'd come on thingy. And when he says flat screen, I think, fuck me, I only heard the expression regarding to a TV, flat screen, in the like, when were they come out? 1990s? I don't know. I'm talking about a flat. No,
Yeah, there was rear projection ones, the big old massive ones, and then there was a flat screen tube cathode ray television that was brought out. It was still old style, and then yeah, I do know what you're fucking on about. I'm just trying to have a conversation. I give up. It's all Matt show. I'm not going to speak no more. We're going to shut down by 12 o'clock in 10 minutes. So we have 10 minutes left.
I'm just saying that, flat screen. So yeah,
it's all good.
With a big bulbous back, just a flat screen. So he's talking about that. So yeah, unbelievable, fucking unbelievable. That's before I was even born. So all that, yeah. So it's just the gravity of the resources. Sometimes it fingers it. I don't think these people with climate change have even got a fucking notion of what's been wasted.
I've got you on as well to show that you are an example of somebody who's anxious about stuff, and you've got a lot of inner knowledge with regards to the infrastructure and the mainstream. You are an intelligent, intellectual, loving man, and I don't bear you no malice. And you've saved my ass many a time, and I owe you a great debt. And you are other half of this channel, so they have to see you and hear you now and again to get what kind of a brother fam that we are. We are like not blood, but we are blood on the grand scheme tribal things. But no, it's there are mans out there that are suffering on the spectrum of autism with anxiety and ADHD and aggression, frustration, lack of access, and we are a broad family. We have a broad demographic. Man is not cloned, and we all have a personality and an angle and a speech and a dialect, and we love you for that, brother. I don't think you've directly. Yeah, I know we have that. They don't know that, but
yeah. People different, but I have my opinions, and but I just read through it all, and I can't settle for it, and I can't. If people think I'm a bit, it's because there's no fucking time. This was just proved it. You know what I mean? All this shit, what's happening? There's no fucking time, because before you know it, I've had an heart attack and I'm dead, or something's happened. I'm dead. You're dead. Do you know what I mean? Next man's on for a fucking thing. Shit needs to change, because everything's getting diluted and we're just getting stupidified. I'm in a situation where I'm gonna have to go and just fucking. I ain't got this, certificate, so I can't get better money. So I'm just gonna have to go and get a fucking shit job, and then I've got to fucking pay for a royal family that I don't want, because I ain't got a choice of a tick box. You know what I mean? But we're told about I'm in a democracy. I've got my circumstances have changed. I've got to go and dance with some devils that I never wanted to dance with, and I've happily avoided those devils up until now. And I may have to fucking go and fucking dance with devils. And I don't want to dance with devils, I don't want to talk to them. You don't need to talk. It's just horrible.
That's the commercial realm. That's the sinful combat war that we've learned to go into. We spell work, W-O-R, that's the war. Right. And then the K at the end is the twin pillars connected to war. K is 11 in our current Anglo-Saxon Great Britain alphabet. So you are war king, the war king, king of war. I know war is W-A-R to be concise as Oxford styles, but it's a big play like the thumbprints and the prints of thumbs and the etymology that we've since found. It's incredible. Yeah, commerce is indeed public, and in commerce public it's war. It's against the teachings of when we was given gardens and lands and Yeah, 12,000 years ago, man started to be civilized and farm and agriculture and
No,
uh,
okay, look, 1 minute,
what's
can I
going
just
on? We've
pause you
been
there?
we have been enslaved truly.
You
As
can't use that word, you can use a different one,
what's
but not
that?
civilized. Civilized, there's no
No, that's the
civilized.
academic way of describing. I'm an easier soldier, and I'm
Oh,
speaking
yeah, yeah,
liberally.
yeah.
Sorry, you
No,
know.
I was just going to say, because no, people jump on for legal reasons. They say, oh, you can't use
No,
personally, you can't think it. So I'm
we
just
speak
saying,
just.
yeah.
We're not
So
civilized. No, we're definitely not as civilized. If we
we're
say,
savages,
I know
we're a
what you
bunch of
mean. You're
savages.
not. Yeah, you're right. What you're saying. It's not my word. I didn't. I'm not the academic scholar that put that in place. I'm just saying, in the ground. Yeah,
Civil.
we're not.
In my opinion, no, that's all right. Anyway, I mean, just in my opinion, they bang on about it, trigger a thing, it triggers some words, trigger and some things, responses. Like I said, the subconscious just fucking jumped in me then and said, here, what about, they say about, bang on about civilized and other countries not being civilized, and it's like, now, you look at the world, it's none of it civilized, there's no one country that's practically applicated the religious values and the equation needs to be applied. That's all I'll say. The equation needs to be applied, and to apply the equation, this is what needs to be done, and that's what I believe. Anything short of that, falling short of the equation, will result in catastrophe, will result in shit.
Universal basic income for all. I hear what you're saying there.
No
That's a good
income,
start.
no universal fucking access for all. That's all. There's nothing short access. You've got to take that somebody will want more fucking access for overseeing the fucking access. You get what I mean? Oh, but you'll need somebody to oversee the access and the distribution, and then them people will need to be looked after, won't they? Now, they're fucking, if they want to do it, they want to do it. If they don't, we'll find someone who does want to do it for fucking equal access. Don't you understand about profits for non-service for all? What don't you understand about all men created equal? You know what I mean? If these communist states were properly true to what, you know what I mean? What I believe communism is supposed to be, but the communism weren't supposed to be anything but, like, even them Russians said that, you know what I mean? They know it's from fucking Wall Street. They know it was created. So Russia could be a boogeyman to the West, a boogeyman, that's all they're there for. Trust me, Putin's playing golf with Trump and all the rest of them. They're all pretending to be enemies and not know each other. They're all just actors. Every country is run by the fucking money, people that control the money.
If Russia doesn't have any infections or very low infections and etc., I'm just noticing that Putin was going for an extended period within his presidency and prime seat. So let me finish a minute. I'll let you finish. So if I speculate correctly upon this little vibe, then Russia does well out of the Corona COVID episode, and then the people yield him as a hero and says, you know what, he got us through that, and not many of us got affected. We'll keep him in. And nice one. Putin may have had a nudge. I'm just speculating of what is happening.
I was just saying, they talk about spies, don't they? And you know America and England's got all these spies because they sell you all your fucking James Bond and your fucking Triple X and all the other shit, bullshit, knack-a-sack fucking programming.
Kingsman.
So, yeah. So they get your subconscious and all that shit. So you better best part
Espionage.
Russia's got spies places. They're not fucking stupid. That's why I admired them when they went into Ukraine, because America were disturbing the country, disrupting the country, destabilizing the country, and they're sort of borders with Russia. So Russia were like here to bump, you know what I mean? It was funny, they steal the country that owed Russia shitloads of money, and then next minute Ukraine, and Russia's like, oh, we supply you gas, why are you being arsy with us? Just because fucking Yanks are there, you're going to get your gas off then? If you are, no problem, but yeah, because they were causing shit, they extended the border by 30 miles, which any other fucking country would. Shit were kicking off in fucking Mexico, you can bet your bottom dollar America would fucking extend that border out into Mexico. You know what I mean? Would it be an invasion of Mexico? No. Would it be within their rights? Possibly. So anyway, they've probably seen all this shit going round, and they will have got some, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not in Russia, I don't know, I'll comment on it all, but we made them look like the boogeyman, obviously. They might have just been careful because it's hard to get in it. They might have just ceased fucking, I do know that, I don't know, but they might have ceased all border. People coming in and out. They might have done what I said, fuck that, if you're Russian, you've gone out to China, you stay in here for a bit. You know what I mean? Tough shit, bastard. You want to come to Russia? No, you're not coming. We don't need any Italians here, we don't need any Chinese here. You know what I mean? They might, I don't know, but they might have done that as a precautionary measure, like other countries should have done. Fucking ferrying your fucking people back. They went fucking flying about, not me. You know, they went, let insurance take care of it. That's what it's for, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have British embassies. Get them in British embassy if they're that bothered about your British citizens or your fucking Spanish citizens or your Italian citizens. Get them in embassies and fucking quarantine them in there. Boom. Then when they're alright, then we'll think about bringing them, repatriating them. Sorry, if you leave your country, you leave it at a risk. You know what I mean? I don't care what fucking Thomson Travel that's gone bust gone by Rothschild or any other fucking travel agent say to you. Do you know what I mean? The world's a scary, nasty place. Shit happens. You know what I mean? Just be aware of that when you're going for a bit of sun. Alright, son?
Some are forced to be warriors for the good of the tribe, not all angels.
No, fucking, they're not happy with their own country, so they're fucking off. But they're fucking
No, I'm just reading comments for the room now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise.
Just breathing. I like that one, Gwen. Thank you. Some angels are not all, wings and stars. Some have to join in the battle and come with a sword. The room is good. David swearing, Stephen. Sorry, I just joined in for the environment there.
I see, I pulled it out and it's subconscious.
Damn.
You can't hide from your subconscious.
It's cursive. I just don't like the cursiveness of the language.
No,
now I
don't.
understand
I've
what
tried
it
to
comes.
curb it, but I've noticed when my subconscious, because it's makes you so you don't have much control. But I do try and curb it. But sometimes some stuff, what I rant about, is what I've thought about many times over. So it's embedded in my subconscious. And that makes me fucking. I mean, I grew up with five brothers that were already blokes. With my dad watching football in 80s. Playing with my Lego and shit in front room, they were watching. I remember getting dragged out of front room by my mother because they've got right now Beverly Hills Cop 1 at the beginning when he goes and he goes on that chase and he's hanging on to the lorry and then he's in police station and he's getting a round of feckles from that thingy and it's just F bleep beep beep F and my mum didn't know her in front room and she's walked in and gone, oh my god, get it, and got me out and but I heard all the effing and jeffing that goes along with listening to five blokes watch football. So you want to blame, I don't blame football, but I do try and curb it, I do apologise. But we're all adults and there's coronavirus about this shit, and there's more to worry about than somebody's cursing.
They are instigating the language levels up and the same-sex kissing and this binary. I've got Yanka coming home. Yeah. Let me finish. I've got Yanka coming home asking me why people are binary and if God wanted people to populate the earth, bless her, and these commandments, then why are children having same-sex relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, lesbian? I'm not condemning it. I'm just saying that our children are coming home with extra confusion, and the media is responsible for putting these ideas, because if these ideas weren't present in our children until 18 onwards, I dare say that there would be 50% less of confused sons and daughters going around. So yeah, Yanka's come home after seeing Mariana Grande in Birmingham and whatnot, and we mentioned the tribulations with that explosion and terrorist alleged incidents and what happened there, and she's seen on Nickelodeon, and TV, it may not be Nickelodeon, but a Hollywood cable channel, the same-sex kiss that girls are doing, and it's been put in the media extra. The priestesses are singing and doing, there is characters being invented and brought out that are gender fluid now, and I'm not saying anything.
It's all about early sexualization and controlling, and
when we say agendas, Listen, when you make a free choice, you make a free choice, fam, to be whatever way you so choose to be. And I and Matthew won't judge you, and neither will this channel. But when there are ideas put into media and music and deliberately, arbitrarily shoehorned into man's mind, then we have a problem. You see, this is the issue. If it's naturally occurring and whatnot and organically done, then we
There is a
address it a
naturally
different way.
occurring process
Yeah,
to it.
here we
But,
go. That's all
but
we're saying.
there is also the early sexualization of children, and
The
they've done a good
clothes,
enough job with
yeah.
that, so they've moved on now to seeing what else they can do. And this is what I'm talking about, the subconscious brain. This is people getting programmed from birth by cartoons. That's why my belief is that Disney Channel, all that fucking shit, SpongeBob, all the fucking lot of it, yeah, call it what you want, I call it child abuse. It's child abuse.
In one
Child
form or
abuse
another, yeah, it is,
on a
can be.
human. No, that's 100%. God is my witness. I'll be judged for it, but that's child abuse. You can be putting all sorts of information. A child will turn around to you after watching years of SpongeBob and all this, and they'll say, I know all the characters in SpongeBob, and that is true. Information has been inputted into the brain, it's been retained, and they can recall upon it subconsciously at will, yeah? By using the conscious to do you know what I mean? So, but that information will not help them in a time of a virus, you know. The periodic table could have been inputted into that child, you know. Oh, that's fucking thing. No, I'm sorry, but we're designed to absorb information. And when you're taking something that's been created by whom, I don't know, you decide with your own faith.
An institution, generally, yeah.
But either way, the human body has been created. It didn't fucking evolve out of fuck all. It's been created, right? And it has mechanisms, processes, and fucking things that go wrong. If you have a stroke or such and such, you're fucked. You know what I mean? And it's things like that. So you're a machine, a biological machine, the most technically advanced, because we still don't know how it fucking works properly, known to anything and to us. You see, whether you like it or not, accept it or not, that's the truth. That, you know, you go and speak to neuroscientists, you go and speak to scientists, they'll tell you the same. So these are the facts of it. So you can program said biological computer, you know, entity. You know, it's like that's why when you die, you carry on, you leave it behind, because you just put in there. You know, like you see these sci-fi things and they open up and there's an alien inside, you know, you're essentially put inside something and you're free
A
to
sleeve.
do things, and that's what the subconscious is there for. So the knowledge gets put into the subconscious and held there. All reactions go from it, you know. If you need to think fast,
He was on about programming,
if you
remember.
program the periodic table into your brain, if you're good at chemistry and you're wicked at science and you're wicked at maths and shit like that and good at fucking drawing, and you can pull shit out, you can think fast and put stuff together. The human mind can put stuff together before it's thinking. If you watch Jack Fresco, there's one in 1996 or 1998, and he's giving like a thing and he's got a chalkboard and he's drawing things. He's not telling anybody what he's doing. He says, if you know what I'm drawing, call it out. So he starts drawing things and he's doing a thing, and some people call it before you can even know it. Like he said, he says, do you know what I mean? How the fucking hell do you know that's that? Because I haven't finished drawing it yet. It doesn't even look like that, but that's what I was drawing. So a human mind doesn't need the whole picture to be able to put together the whole picture, if that makes sense.
Rolf Harris, can you tell what it is yet? Don't you remember Rolf? Rolf did the same, did he
I
not?
don't want to think about nonsense at all.
No, but just that bit, yeah, but there was, can you tell what it is yet? Was his catchphrase, so he did the same, yeah.
It's essentially the same
That's
thing,
all I'm saying. You want to go there, you go. We are
that's a
wrapping
typical
up.
example.
It's
See,
time.
you've been programmed into you.
Last,
Your
no, I was
subconscious
just
grabbed it.
giving, well, whatever, but yeah, it's time. We've finished, everyone. We've had a
So
rant
your
and
subconscious is basically running show. So yeah, you can program children subconscious with all sorts of fucking bullshit, iCarly, Drake and Josh, all that shit, but it's child abuse, you know.
Hey, we've got your point. We've got that. That's been made apparent. Have you any more closing thoughts? I'm not shoehorning you out, but yeah, I am tired and I've been doing a lot. So yeah, we've how long I don't know we've been on, but we've had a good rant and you've expressed. The room has accepted and agreed and gone on their own.
Express more and like you say, just
Yeah, we'll get you back. We can do more. It's not over.
People
We've
need to
we've
ask questions.
we've got a slowdown of essentially 2 to 4 weeks initially. The media are dripping out what's happening. You will not get. You will not get. You will not, we will not get the general public of the army, of the battle that's ongoing at minute. We will not get, it will not be getting, the people will not get the full scoop because we can't handle the truth. You know, the people, our persons can't handle the truth, but the administrators set laws and as kings in, self-initiate, self-governing, whatever you want to classify yourself as, initiates of the realm. You were maybe called upon to help others and to assist and to show your solidarity to the human race, essentially. So I am going to be doing my best and keeping an eye open, and in times of need, I hope we can all, join together and accept what connects us is far greater than what disconnects us, and...
The one thing that disconnects us is money. I was about to say, I won't be getting any donation, I won't be getting no help from nobody. I'll be moving brick like I was doing today. We're moving fucking 380 bricks out to the back of the van, piling them up for something,
Yeah, we're all in the monetary system and like the forces.
By the time I get to a supermarket, everything will be gone and I'll be told, we're closing. Why is all people that's got fucking too much access been already?
Well, things, we are regulating, we are self-regulating, the industry is it is not panic and despair. There has been a little bit of gluttony and panic, and we saw that in the media. They have reacted, measures are being put into place, communities and things we're not perfect, but this is a time to address, we have a right to live and we can live right if we watch this, Not right now, not right now, but we're in a time of times and, we've had a nice chat. We are closing down, but it isn't all doom and gloom. I'm trying to lift the mood. Sorry, everyone. Carry on. Sorry.
I'm my spirits are always lifted. I'll eat nettles. I will eat nettles. I'll do the video.
Thank you to all the scribes and for where we've been and their input. I'm just going to skim up there. Irish says, my son is 8 and I'm trying best to hide all this BS. Unfortunately, he hears crap in school. Schools are closed. Time for homeschooling in the new earth. I agree. Yes, home education, because it's not, schooling is falling. I'm not picking on you, Irish. I love you. I'm just saying that, we would then education. And what I said about Mark Twain, that quote there.
Everybody should have equal access. Everybody should have internet by now for free. Nothing, you know what I mean? It travels through it's just bullshit. That should be free. Every house should have internet free. No, it's only if you pay Richard Branson or Rupert Murdoch or others said.
What's this? Stephen has put a comment on about Ariana. There's a video going around, a public music video that is not a private, I'm not, I'm doing that for Stephen. I painted you in a bad way then, Stephen. There's obviously a music video going around, Stephen's pointing out. See how good I am. With her legs apart, and she tries at the end to touch fingers with God on a cloud with the spark signifies I'm struggling to carry on. The age 18, which she just tried disconnected, 18, but she doesn't get to touch, meaning underage sexual connotations is just prove the point there, fam. I'm disgusted. This is the reason that Mathew and I initially just decided to come on and chat when we saw subliminal cuts, subliminal mind control, as Irish is saying, MK Tavistock Ultra. It's like brother Mathew here introduced me again to Noam Chomsky. I'm like, who's this old fart you're listening to? What's going on here? He said, listen, Dave, listen to the man. We'll skip some videos, and I just had a few little sections of Noam presented to me by Matt. I'm like, this man's on fire. Why have I never heard of him? And he explained about the human psyche being sidelined and marginalised and programmed. I'm like, what? Is this brand new? No, this man's been doing this for like 40 years. It's been going on since the 30s, since the cryptography of the cryptograph of the crypt of the script of the flip, the script of the manuscript. And I'm like, no, I'm tripping about this, it's just incredible. Thank you. So I just like to say thank you, and it is all real, yeah, and we are aware. Yeah, that's coming from the room, and the way that the comments are going, the powers of suggestion and stuff, what you've touched upon. I'm giving you the feedback before we go. So the K.
My message is always to people, you've got to be aware. Once you're aware, if you study conscious, subconscious, all that shit, yeah, and have a good fucking listen to lectures, even if most of it goes over your head, take what you can take and then fucking expand from there. But once you know and are aware exactly how fucking vulnerable and weak you are, because you can't program your subconscious to not be your subconscious, because it's your subconscious, so
mental, yeah. We have touched upon mental alchemy, and there are some. Let me finish. There are some.
Let me finish 1 second. That's why you get expressions. Be careful who walks the fucking dirty shoes through your mind.
Carry on. Finish the state. This is the thing. Well, no, because they leave muddy shoe prints in there, and it defiles the mind. It's a mindfulness statement from the Taoists. Yeah, it's a Taoist sentiment. So we have we have covered that nicely. We've got an agreement there. The music that's been on tonight has been a mixture of chill out meditation, binaural, 428 and etc. mixture of. So what else we got here? Some intellectual minds, Matt. That's what I can say here, brother. And yes, we are awake. This is a partners. There was a channel we used to watch called Spirit Science that was on about the Christ-like conscious, and I didn't quite get. I thought it was too far out and like, wow, that's a lame excuse for a redemption and remedy. Yeah, man, you're gonna get a Christ-like conscious, and when you get to that, because it was American and how it sounded and was portrayed in animation. And we've since 4 to 7 years later, after seeing these spirit sciences, gone on our own journey, 40 years in the wilderness at the tree of life, not the tree of knowledge with the bite on it in the form of an pad, icon. We've not gone for the knowledge, we've gone for the life, and we found that yes, there is a definite correlation into messages from and messages found. So it's very interesting, Matt. Where we are and what we give thanks for. So the stars and the proclamations and the tribulations, and we can back up 99.9% made the claims on this channel. So there we go. I will endorse that no false claims or misleading information has been said. It's an endorsement of, and this Christ-like consciousness is the knowledge returning back to man. Just let me finish this bit. And you have got the power, the armor of the universe in your hands now, and any claim laid upon man is dealt with, accordingly with law. Any claim laid upon person is dealt with in a civil, arbitrary fashion. And this consciousness that they was on about, in the form of energy, health, wealth, science, who you are, what language you speak, is a very timely moment here. I do believe the scholars of the Bible have diverted man, the light has been dimmed down, and all of this torrent is coming. I'm finding it hard to manage, all the proofs and the claims and the proclamations and the Göbekli Tepes, and it's in every area there is an abundance.
It's like now, it's not that. It's what at the end of the day, what matters the most is what it's like. I've just seen Milkman's still out fucking delivering milk for people. You know what I mean?
See, Milkman.
What matters most at the end of the day is food and water. Food and water. Food and water and education, shelter. These are the fundamental things that we need to get right in society, and services. So if there's a technology like the internet, like fucking, like what we're doing now, enabling people to spread information, talk about things, things that free up man to be man and do things. We should be implementing it, and I don't know why people wouldn't want to demand that. I wouldn't want, you know what I mean? You're going to get
There's an exodus on the horizon in many shapes and forms, and yes, we shall hold it down. We shall remain honourable and usher in the golden age, hopefully, yes, as a fan.
I
Let's
will say
hope.
that, for legal reasons, some of my opinions are based on facts, some of my opinions are based on gut feelings, some of my opinions are just my opinions based on me having the right to have an opinion, and everybody's always giving opinions, so some of my opinions are based from my stomach, some of them are based around, suspicions.
Logic, yeah.
So anybody caring to take me up on any comment, I'll tell you whether it were based on fact or what at the time. But yeah, it's up a fact most of the time.
Thank you all. It's been epic, incredible,
It looks like
charged.
a big pile of dog shit, and it smells like a big pile of dog shit. It's generally a big pile of dog shit.
Until sprinkle glitter comes on, and yeah, you can't make a purse out of a sow's ear, and etc. Yes, we recognise that, and we are going to have to end, Matt, because.
I'll just say one thing as well. Back of my mind, I do think genuinely
A long goodbye.
All a bit of a blag and a lie. So don't be worried too much.
Yeah, there's scripts and manuscripts and text and context and subtext, and we've seen that. We've got recordings, we've got evidences, we've got everything we need. So we just sit back in the confidence now. We lost the fear. We was prepared in some ways for Brexit and calamity at Christmas, and that was a false flag by us being apprehensive, anxious, and expecting the worst. But again, you see, I'll defend a little bit and say they held it down, and they managed to keep the markets and the stability. Although how deceptive and lunatic, weird it is, So now it's here. Something's here. We was all kind of already mini prepped. Let's be honest. We've prepped and we've unprepped, and we've prepped and we've unprepped for the last 20, 40 years. So we are ready for change. We've handled a lot of data and a lot of stuff. We've come a long way, and we ought to be very proud of where we are. And I think we're going to be all right. Yeah, that's how I want to end it.
Average man knew that Brexit wouldn't affect him anyway, either way, because commas is commas. Because the way I knew that when I went into Aldi, because you went through all world, but majority of stuff was from Spain, which is a European Union country. So they had to make sure that everything was thingy. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no veg in supermarkets. You know what I mean? And then if there were no veg in supermarkets, all them people would have then gone and got all the Boris Johnson's knackersack and hung him from fucking near his lamppost. So he had to make sure that them cabbages and everything kept coming from Spain, and all tomatoes kept coming from Spain. And that's why, you know what I mean? I knew it wouldn't affect us. It's all about big business, and big business never loses out. So how is that possible?
Yeah, we have reassurance in the
way of scaring people into getting the Tory government in there. But I don't, like I say, I've got questions about that and all.
All right, well, another time, Matt, another time, please.
Anyway, peace, love and light to everybody, plus Barry McGuigan.
I like the way that some of the one of the scribes just said, "Where do you all go when Indy ends?" Can I just say to Irish that if you go to the channels of the ones that you like commenting with, and you see what their subscriptions are, you can kind of look at who we subscribe to, and it's all legal and above board. It's not stalking, but you can find where we go and what we do and who we watch, and liked videos and that. Some are public on the settings, so you can always find like-minded and look at the channels and what videos they've got on. If you press subscriptions on the app or on the interface, you'll find that when you press subscriptions, the channels you subscribe to that are currently live have a little red icon by them. So there's little tips and tricks you can use to navigate around and link up and enforce and yeah, it's quite a fantastic community compared to the mindset that the cable and the satellite. I know we're shutting down. I'm as bad as Matt. We're all as bad as each other, aren't we? Me and Kev do this as well. But yeah, thank you and much love for all that you do. And blessings to Matt and his time and in the family. We have been focusing on your brother, and they got a bare bones skeleton story of what go on, and we can cover things later, at the right time. So just know that you're loved and you're blessed. And you're a fantastic mind, and we thank you for your time, bro.
It's alright, I'm gonna go and go stomping with Tesla on fucking Christmas street.
All right then. Well, thank you,
What
Scribe.
time is it?
It is now
UK time.
20 past 12. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
And you fucking have to going about. Hey, it's alright for criminals, isn't it? They can be ferrying all sorts about all they're going to do if they get pulled over is get out. Alright, son, yeah, where are you going? I'm going home. Crack on then, see ya. That's all coppers will be doing.
Well, they'll touch you, and that's it. Oh no, yes. We'll get back together. We'll be back, more chats, and we'll focus on events, and we'll balance on balance, and we'll rationalise the television's lies, if that's how it is. We'll see. I don't know. There may be interesting, unique. I am seeing unique, interesting times, and you are, fam. So let's do some prayers. If ever you've had an ability to use your intent and you are aware of it, then harness that. Get your crystals out, whatever it takes, and let's just remember what we've learned. All right, in times of separation and isolation, and we need solidarity. We know there is the maths, the codes, the frequencies, the resonance, the intent, and sometimes we get strayed from the path. So if we pull that into place and the universe sees us reassure our own self, it will come to your aid somehow, as mad as it sounds. No characters, no names, just know that we can be all connected and use and utilize these invisible forces of which we are learning and we are proving, so yeah, respect, and we will be back. We'll cover more, we'll stay grounded, and yeah, it's been fun, Matt.
And any people that want to keep a money system, my financial advice to you is invest in toilet roll and all the toilet roll companies and the hand wash companies, and you'll be alright.
On that fine
Bye!
note,
Bye! Sell all your fucking other shares.
Ciao.
Bye!
Ciao, everybody. Matt, you can stay there, mate. I'm going to end the cast. Thank you all. Much love.